Hello, my name is Miki Kashtan. Welcome to the Conflict Hotline. What you say next can change the world. In the studio with me are Itzel and Newt, and together we're going to work with role plays from you and from our vast experience of situations in life, such as this one that we call What's the Big Deal between Christina and Mario. Mario, take it, Christina.
So Mario, dinner is at 6:30 tonight.
No, dinner's at 6, we agreed.
Yeah, but I just talked to my mom, and she and I discussed that 6:30 would just work out a little bit more easily, so it's at 6:30.
Why do you and your mom just think that you can make all the decisions?
What's the big deal?
Thank you. Has this ever happened to you, or something like this, where something seems so simple and like a no-brainer, right? What's the big deal? And to you it's like they're making a choice without involving you, and you want to be part of what's happening. Something like this must have happened to you. The purpose of this program is to support you in working out these kinds of situations with more ease and grace and in a way that attends to everyone's needs. This program is an all-volunteer effort. The cast and some of the crew are affiliated with Bay Area Nonviolent Communication, and the rest of the crew is affiliated with Berkeley Community Media, which is also hosting the show. This is a call-in program, and we invite you to call in and participate. Give us your conflicts and situations, and we will happily play them, won't we? So the number to call is 510-433-0700. And if you're not sure what to call about, let us give you some ideas.
You may have a conflict with your partner or spouse, or you may have a conflict with someone else that you live with, maybe a roommate.
Or you might have a conflict at work, maybe something with your boss or your coworker, or you might have a conflict with someone in your family or a loved one.
Or you may have a conflict with a neighbor, a friend, a stranger, or even a conflict inside yourself. Whatever it is, you can call us and we'll help you work it out. Let's see, would you like to experiment with how what you say next can change the situation?
Sure.
So let's take it from the top.
Okay. So dinner is at 6:30 tonight.
No, it's at 6, we agreed, 6.
No, I just talked to my mom, and she and I agreed that 6:30 would just be easier for both of us.
What? You and your mother just think that you can change things at will without consulting me. What is that about?
Wow, I sense that maybe you're a little bit frustrated about the uncertainty or like an inability to plan, or.
Yeah, and about getting to actually have some choice about my own life and about when things happen and what happens.
So I want to pause for a second and see what happened, because what you did was dramatically different. It's like you jumped over. Probably you wanted to defend yourself like you did the previous time, like, what is the big deal? But you so gracefully skipped over that and went straight to trying to understand him. What helped you do that?
Well, I think what I did was try to stay, rather than go to the defensiveness, is stick with my surprise, because that was my initial reaction. I was really surprised because I didn't think it was anything important or significant. Mm-hmm. So I tried to just stay connected with that.
And that helped you keep focused on him.
Mm-hmm.
So then you could see that clearly you had a reaction, and then you were curious, trying to understand what it is.
Right.
Uh-huh. And for you, what was it like to have her respond in this way instead of defending herself?
Well, I'm still pretty fired up, but I think it works better that she's taking an interest in my point of view,
yeah,
rather than saying that it's no big deal.
Yeah, let's see how long you can keep up the fire if she maintains focus on connecting with you.
Okay, so it sounds like it's something about just wanting to be a part of the decision-making process.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and so you felt by making this decision with my mother, you felt like you were being excluded from that.
Yeah, again, yeah.
So, if he says the word again,
yeah,
what that tells me is that this is not a singular event. If this was a singular event, he probably wouldn't have had such a strong reaction. So there is some deeper thing going on for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can. Did you catch that word again?
Yes.
That word, words like again, always, never, give us a clue that there is a deeper issue going on here. So let's see if you can try to connect with what that might be.
Okay.
And remember to put it in the positive language in
Okay.
terms of what he wants,
Right.
rather than in terms of what he's not getting. So when you said previously you felt excluded, that reaffirms that something wrong is happening, instead of focusing on what is it that he wants, which is where the freedom and the liberation come from.
Okay.
So if he says again, what is it that he wants? See if you can try to guess it and see if that resonates for him.
Okay. So this feeling is it's something familiar. It's something you've felt before,
And what is it that he wants?
and you're really wanting to feel included.
Yeah, I'm wanting to feel included, and I'm wanting to get a sense that that it's going to change, rather than we have this argument every week or more, and then it's just the same thing again and again.
Okay.
So see if you can, find a way to reflect back to him what you're getting from this, because this is so important to him. And because it's so important to him, it's important to the functioning of your connection. Because there's clearly something he's been trying to say for a while that for whatever reason he doesn't have a sense has registered with you.
Okay.
What is it that he's been trying to say? What are you hearing there?
Well, I'm hearing that he wants to be included, and that it's so painful that he keeps bringing it up. It sounds like in his way, and I guess I'm not getting that.
So it's not just that he wants to be included; he wants to be heard about
Right.
how important that is for him.
Right.
Check that out with him and see if this resonates for him,
Okay.
because that will help him. Anytime we feel really heard about what's happening, something changes. I mean, it's already starting to happen. The fire is decreasing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like this is something that you've experienced before, and you're really wanting to be heard, that this is important to you.
That would be good, yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
And doesn't it feel nice to get it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Then
Sure.
there's a togetherness that comes from that. It's not just for him that you're doing it. It creates something between you that is sweeter.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget that you also want to express yourself.
Right.
So do you think he's ready to hear you?
I think so. It seems like it.
So I would check it out with him,
Okay.
because you never know. I mean, you can try, but if you try expressing yourself and the person isn't really fully ready for it, then he can be what some people call re-unheard.
Oh. Okay.
And then it requires reconnecting. But if you check first, then either you find out that he's not ready, or there is more of a readiness just by being checked with. So check with him if he's ready to hear you.
Okay. What do you think about me starting with checking to see if he feels like I got?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a sense that I have a little bit more understanding of what's going on for you with respect to this?
Sounds like it, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if anything's going to change, but I think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Okay. And would you be willing to hear my experience about this?
Okay.
Do you trust that okay?
I don't know. He seemed a little bit hesitant.
Okay, that hesitance tells me that he doesn't have himself fully available.
Okay.
There isn't like a real resting place inside on which he can stand to hear you.
Yeah.
So I would ask him, I heard a little bit of hesitance in your voice. Is it that you're afraid of what might come out of my mouth? Afraid of what might come out of my mouth?
Yeah, I think you're just going to defend your actions, and we're going to stay exactly as we have always stayed.
Yeah, so there is such a thin line in terms of the trust when there is an ongoing issue.
Right.
So then I would be really tender in expressing myself and affirm in some way that my guess is that you want him to be included. My guess is that what's really going on is that some things don't seem to you like they're that important,
Right.
but that overall you want that experience for him. I would
Right.
try to express that to him
Okay.
in some way so that he hears in your heart that you have the intention. And then you just work out the details.
Okay.
The point is always to create the connection, and then on the basis of the connection you can work out the details and the solution.
Okay.
You feel ready to do that?
I think so. I think so. Well, I know that you have been very busy at work lately, and when I talked to my mom about dinner today,
I'm going to pause it because you
Okay.
didn't actually tell him that you share that desire for him.
okay,
You skipped over it.
yeah,
And that is another one of those bridge building expressions.
yeah,
Because he just shared with you what he wants. He doesn't actually trust that it's going to happen.
right,
He knows that he's understood, but he doesn't have the full trust.
okay,
Hearing from you that this matters to you is a big deal. Try it out and see if
Okay.
anything changes.
okay. So you feel like I probably understood what you're saying, but you're still worried that things aren't going to change. Is that right? And I want to tell you that hearing this from you it's really meaningful to me, and I do want things to change. So maybe we could talk a little bit about what happened tonight.
Okay.
I'm curious, does this give you a little bit more trust?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to pause here because you can build from here, but I want to rewind and see if we can feel ready to, redo this. But this time, you're going to try to do things differently. Are you up for it?
Sure.
Because one of the things that I always like to put out is that it takes one person to transform a conflict. It doesn't require both people. And it doesn't matter who is right and who is wrong. In the way that I like to see the world, there's no right and wrong, they're just needs. Different people have different needs. And whoever it is, whoever is in pain or not in pain, you can transform the situation by coming from a place of heart and connecting with what's going on with you and trying to reach for what's going on for the other person. So let's start from the top and see how you do. Yeah? Ready to do
Yeah.
that? Okay,
Yeah.
start from the top.
Okay. So dinner is going to be at 6:30 tonight.
I understood we were eating at 6.
Yeah, but I just talked to my mom, and she and I agreed that 6:30 is just going to be a little bit easier.
Okay.
You're doing a lot of work inside, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I am. I'm noticing that I'm feeling a little bit of frustration, like I'm definitely having a reaction to this, and I think it's about being really concerned that I'm not getting a sense of having choice about what's happening when and so on. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to just tell me how this is for you to hear me say this right now.
Well, I'm a little surprised because I didn't think that this was an important decision or even a significant change. So I'm a little bit surprised that this is happening.
Okay, but notice how different the tone of this conversation is. Because you're sharing the reaction with her, but it's almost like you are here and the reaction is here, and you're bringing the reaction to her as a way to connect, so that you don't hide it or push it away or make it go away, but you present it as a gift to the connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if that felt different to you.
Definitely. It felt like, rather than, the first way felt a little bit like he was blaming me, and this way it just felt like he had a reaction and he's just sharing with me what's going on for him around what just happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know if you're aware, but your response to that was very different.
Yeah.
Your response to that was, yeah, I'm surprised, but I'm here, I'm with you, let's work it out.
Right.
All right, thank you. Let's take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to have a new scenario. We call it Not now, Dad.
Sunlight through the window, eyes open to another day. My mind begins to worry, polluting the river of my being. Rising to the morning, forgetting to open to the grace that's right here for me. Now I'm sliding past the mirrors, avoiding looking at the face. Such a beautiful face. I am suffering, suffering, suffering this way. Oh my beloved, won't you reveal my mistake?
Hi, welcome back to the Conflict Hotline. And again, I want to remind you that this is a call-in show, and you can call at 510-433-0700, and then we will play your situation. And for now, let's work with Bill and Joanna. Bill is Dad. And Joanna, how old are you?
I'm 16.
Wow, you must feel really big and grown up, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play it.
So, bye, Dad. I'm going to go meet up with Pat, and I'll see you later.
Actually, can we just talk about something before you go off, running off?
Well, I'm running late, so maybe we can wait till after I get back.
Actually, this is important for you, Joanna, so let's talk now.
If it was so important, why are you bringing it up now? I'm running late.
Because this is about your future and your education, and we need to talk about it.
I want to pause for a second, and I want to ask you, do you have a sense that she can hear you now?
I wasn't really thinking about that particularly. I'm thinking about what it is that she needs to be told. So.
Yes, so much of the time we think way more about what we want to say than about whether the other person is there to be able to hear it. And we just say it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a sense that she's ready to hear. Are you?
No, I'm trying to wrap it up so I can get out of here.
Yeah. So what to do in a situation like this? In the moment when this is up, in this tight place where she is going out, it's unlikely that she's going to be able to hear you. So I think you're wasting your words. But there is something that is really important to you here. So you want to find a way to say it. So my guess is if you want to make the connection with her, the most that I would say is try to establish that there's something you want to say and make contact with her about saying it later. But I bet anything that the reason why you haven't said it at other times is that you have some trepidation about losing moments when the connection is sweet and solid and you don't want to mess it up by bringing up something that would create tension. Is that what's going on?
That's part of it, and the other part of it is that, yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I need something immediately happening to give me the momentum to actually bring this up. Otherwise, I can't kind of make that happen.
Okay, so you might want to find a way to connect with her about it really briefly, as few words as possible, and establish that you'll talk with her about it later. So let's try again, start from the top.
Bye, Dad. I'm going out with Pat now, so I'll see you later.
Oh, yeah, can I just quickly ask something before you go?
Sure.
I was wanting to have a conversation about something that, and I don't want to hold you up right now, but I'm wondering if when you get back you'd have maybe a half hour to talk about something.
Sure. What's it about?
Oh, just, I'm just having some concerns about how it's going at school and stuff like that, and I just want to check in with you about it.
Okay. Later, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple of things that I noticed. One is, right at the very end, you took a breath. So this was not easy for you to hear.
No.
But the other thing that I noticed is that you actually asked him what is it about. So the whole dynamic was different. Instead of her saying, I'm going, and you're going, wait. You said, I'll talk to you later, and she asked you now, what is it about? So there was, it was tense, but there was more connection than before.
Yeah.
So let's now imagine that she's back. Did you notice that tension? Did you notice that extra breath?
Yeah, and I was having this approach. I didn't want to get into what it was about because I was not wanting to create tension right now.
Yeah.
So.
But if I were you, I would note it and connect with it afterwards, because if you convey to her that you saw the tension, it actually will reduce it.
Oh, okay.
So fast forward, she's back.
Hey, so is now a good time to talk?
Sure. Okay.
I noticed you maybe seem a little bit tense now, and I noticed when I brought it up before you went out with Pat that you looked like you were maybe a bit tense about talking to him.
Yes, a little bit.
Okay.
Did this reduce the tension that he mentioned it?
A little bit. I'm still nervous about where this conversation is going to go, but yeah, it's nice to just have that out in the open.
Yeah. It's amazing how we think that we can delude ourselves and others and pretend like there's nothing going on when it's so apparent that something is going on, and how there's a little bit of relief from just naming what's happening, but not a whole lot.
Right.
So, and now I assume I'm going to carry on in this connecting way.
I would like that very much.
Okay.
But I would like that not because of how much I care about her, which I do. I would like that because I care about you. I want you to have the quality of connection with your daughter that you would like. I want you to have the experience of being heard. And the more you're able to express yourself in this kind of connected way, chances are higher that she will be able to hear you. That's why. It's not about being a good person. It's about making relationships work.
Okay. So, first of all, I just want to say that I really want to talk to you in a way which doesn't increase tension. So that's my aim anyway.
Okay.
Just so you know that. And get into what it is that I'm concerned about. It's basically that I know you're starting the junior year. I know you've only got 2 years left of high school and to get into college and all that stuff. And I'm thinking it's a really important time for you. And then I'm seeing how much of your time you're spending with Pat, and I'm just getting really worried about it. So I'm wondering how you feel hearing me say that.
I'm nervous, and I'm wondering where this is going, because you've said stuff to me before that indicated you weren't crazy about Pat, so I'm a little bit nervous.
So I love it the way our children just serve as mirrors, because basically what she's saying is, are you really saying the real issue? I'm not sure. Isn't that what you're saying?
Yes.
So what's the real issue, Dad?
Yeah, I have said some things about Pat before. You know, I do have fear that when I've talked to him about his plans, you know, about whether or not he's wanting to go to college and stuff like that, that he's sort of just shrugged his shoulders and not wanted to talk about it. And I'm concerned that he might be wanting to take a path which is very different than the one I would want for you. So, is that what
I
you're
want to pause and say that given the level of tension, and given that this is someone she's going out with, and that this is important to her, with every added word that you say, you lose some of her attention. Wasn't that so? Mm-hmm. So...
I was building up my case for Pat.
Yeah. And so, yeah. So I would try saying this again, but with far fewer words. The idea is as few words as possible to convey a message, and then reach back for connection.
Okay.
Chunk it up in small bits. Then you maintain the connection so that it doesn't drop It just drops a little and builds back up, builds back up, builds back up, and then you're building connection instead of losing it.
Okay, so there is something about Pat. I'm worried that if he's not interested in going to college, that's going to influence your decision. How do you feel hearing me say that?
Okay. I mean, I see why you'd be worried about that. I mean,
Pause for a second.
Okay.
You see, in this moment, you created connection. Whatever else she's going to say, she looped back to you. She got your concern. Wasn't that a relief when she said, I see why you would be worried?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't get that if you just, build and build and build all the things that are wrong with Pat.
Right.
Yeah. Keep going.
so I was going to say that I have my plans, and Pat, his are different. College isn't for everybody, but I'm planning on going.
Okay.
So what's going on, Dad?
That's reassuring.
Say that.
Yeah, that's reassuring for me to hear. I'm less worried about that now. So, yeah, I just want the best for you. I just want you to have a good life, and college is fun and great, and I want you to have that experience. So, I mean, do you understand what it is that's concerning me?
Yeah, I think so. I'm also kind of worried. Are you going to try and not let me see Pat anymore? I felt like that's where this was going to go.
Right now, I just feel good that I've told you what's up for me, and I don't have anything else to ask about it.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you. Now let's try the harder part.
Oh, all right.
Which is, not all teenagers are fortunate enough to have dads that would open their hearts and talk like human to human.
Yeah.
And my desire is to empower you and other teenagers to be able to create connection with your parents, even though instead of that power struggle that you get into where you want your autonomy and they are so worried about what you're doing, how can you work in a way that would create connection? So let's see what happens at the door
Okay.
when he's trying to hold you up.
Okay.
How can you say something brief and short that would create connection, and so that when you say that you want to talk about it later, it's not going to sound like evasiveness, but somehow to find a way to convey that his concern matters to you.
Okay.
You started the talk.
Okay. So, bye, Dad. I'm going to go meet Pat, so I'll see you later.
Actually, Joanna, I need to talk to you about something right now. It's kind of important.
Oh, okay. It sounds like it's a pretty pressing issue for you right now, and I'm noticing I'm feeling a little bit torn because I'm late to meet Pat right now, and I want to talk to you about this, and I'm just wondering if you'd be willing to talk about it when I get back.
Did you get a sense that she cares?
Yeah, I want to double check, but I got a bit of a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got some distance. Was it hard to do this?
No, not too bad. I felt like, especially telling him that I was torn, felt like I was still being considerate of Pat and also of my dad.
Yeah.
So I liked the.
Yeah, it's really hard to be in the middle between two people who want you, isn't it?
Yeah. And who I love,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I had a sense that you really conveyed a genuine heart presence. But let's see what he has to say and whether you can meet with that.
Okay.
And whether you can meet with that.
Okay.
That sounds okay, but the last time you said that, it didn't happen, and so I really do want to talk about it. I don't want to just have you blow me off.
Okay. Is there something?
So I have a sense of why he's saying this, because the last time you said that was evasive. This time you mean it because you're coming from your heart.
Okay.
Because inside of you, you're changing the dynamic of he's in power and you're resisting.
Right.
When you change that dynamic, a yes really means a yes, rather than I'm trying to get you off my back for now.
Right.
So I'd
Right.
like you to find a way to tell him that there's a change in where the yes is coming from, and therefore he can trust it. Can you find
Okay.
your own words for saying that?
Oh, I'm not sure. I could try.
I would just own up to the fact that in the past you've been evasive.
Okay.
Just the truth.
Okay. Okay. It sounds like you're worried that I'm not going to come back to you to talk about this because I've done that before, and I know I have. And for me, this is really different. I'm really trying to connect with what sounds like is really important to you, and I want us to talk about it.
Okay.
So
What time do you think we'll be able to talk?
well, we're going to see a movie, and then we might see some friends, so I'll be back probably in like 3 to 4 hours. And then as soon as I get back, maybe just get a glass of water or something, or some tea, and we can sit and talk.
Okay.
Are you feeling more confident this time?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything you want to add before we take a break? About what your experience was or what?
There's a little bit in me of like, and what are we going to do if it doesn't happen again or something? There is still a little bit of doubt, but it's I'm calmed enough to be willing to go with this plan.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you would like to add before we take a break?
I also did want to somehow guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do that, but
The way that what you can do is you can say, I cannot guarantee because nobody can guarantee the future, but I really want to be trusted about my sincere intention.
okay,
Do you trust it?
okay,
And if he says yes, then you have even more connection and you can live more in peace.
great.
All right, thank you. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have another scenario. We call it the Weekend Showdown.
It's taking it too far. Oh, my teacher, won't you show me to my heart, my heart? Oh, oh, show me to my heart, my heart. Oh, oh, show me to my heart. Cool me in your waters now, my heart. Oh, oh, show me to my heart, my heart. Oh, oh, show me to my heart.
Hi, welcome back to the Conflict Hotline, where we run your conflict and work them out and do role plays. And this is a call-in show. We are inviting you again to call, and the number is 510-433-0700. And we are having our next scenario. We call it the Weekend Showdown, and this is Kimberly, who is the boss, and Kevin, who is obviously reporting to Kimberly.
That's right.
So, Kevin, I'm going to need you to stay in late this weekend to finish up this project. This deadline is getting far too close, and I need to make sure that it's met.
You know, I appreciate that. I know it's coming up close, but we've still got 10 days, and I actually have it fully under control, so I don't need to be here this weekend.
Okay, well, I'm not totally confident that it's going to be done in time, and so I'm going to need you to get a little bit further along on it, and then maybe next weekend we can revisit this conversation, but this weekend I'm going to need you here.
Okay, I guess, if that's what it's got to be, then that's what I'll do.
Okay, because that is what it's going to have to be.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop here. I have a sense that neither one of you is happy. Is that true?
Yeah.
Not happy.
You're not happy. But you probably think that she is.
Yes, she's getting her way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I've sort of got a plan to just pay back in some way. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't worked that out. But
Yeah, thank you. You are articulating what I wanted to say to you, which is it's very, very, very expensive currency to get somebody to do something for you just because you have power.
Yeah.
Really expensive currency, and you feel it.
Yeah.
You've lost something in the goodwill.
Yeah.
And you have a long-term relationship. He's going to work here not just this weekend, but somewhere down the line.
Right.
So let's see if we can work this out in a different way. Are you game for trying?
I'll try.
You're feeling- You're feeling nervous about it.
A little bit, because I need this deadline to be met, and regardless of whether or not he wants to come in this weekend, I need it for my comfort level. So I'm just not sure what this is gonna look like.
Yeah, but the thing is, the key is to differentiate between the desire, which I hear is shared between the two of you, to meet the deadline, and the particular strategy of having him come this weekend.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
question is, can you make any kind of wiggle room inside of you
Okay.
so that you come into it, you want him to come this weekend, but you're open to dialogue.
Okay.
At the end of the dialogue, maybe he'll shift and choose to come over the weekend. And if he does that, it will be not out of fear, but out of care and concern. That's your goal. To get him to do whatever he's going to do out of care and concern and partnership with you, rather than out of fear. Wouldn't that feel more fun?
Absolutely.
Or you might shift.
Right.
And what I would like for you is to walk into this dialogue with a willingness to shift. Not necessarily that you already agree to shift, but a willingness to be open to discover something that might shift you. It may be that the window is really small,
Yeah.
but remember this. Remember the expression on his face.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you can hold that in your awareness as kind of like the cautionary tale. Whatever I do, I want to avoid that. I want to work towards connection, partnership, shared holding of what's critical in this department,
Right.
rather than I'm the boss and you got to do what I tell you.
Okay.
It's not fun energy for anyone.
No. No, it's not.
So
Okay.
let's try it out. That will require you to reveal much more.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to get behind anything. No care and concern or shared vision will come from him unless he knows what's going on for you. Otherwise, it just looks like external commands.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Try it out.
Okay. So Kevin, we have this big deadline looming, and I'm really concerned about how far along you've gotten so far on this project. So I'm going to ask that you come in this weekend to work on it.
yeah, I understand about the deadline. I'm very aware of that. We've got 10 days left, and I'm really quite on top of it, and I don't see any need to come in this weekend.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you, I don't know if you know how important this is for me, and I know you know it's an important deadline, but really it could be that my job is on the line, and so I have a lot of stress and a lot of concern really riding on getting this done on time. And so I'm really at a point right now where I want to see more progress by Monday, a lot more than I'm seeing so far.
I want to pause because my sense is, and I want to check with Kevin, my sense is that when you express the stress that you're under, his willingness increased. I don't know this, but that's my guess. Is that true?
I was very interested, and this was news. Yeah, this was news.
But there is a subtle way in which he said something, and I didn't hear you refer to it in any way.
I wasn't listening to him at all because I was really kind of caught up in
Right.
my concern.
But when you reiterated the original request, my guess is that his willingness went down. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just dealing with persuasion, I guess. At that point, she's just persuading me to do what she wants.
So it's very subtle. What is important in order to create partnership is for you to reveal your concern, which you did, and at the same time convey to him that you get where he's coming from.
Okay.
That way you weave the two of you together. If you make a request, somebody says no, and then you remake the request, it immediately registers with them that what they say doesn't matter.
Right.
And anyone that feels they don't matter has less willingness to bend and shift and be flexible.
Okay.
Because they want to assert that they matter.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
how will you convey to him, whether or not you agree with him, how will you convey to him that you understand what he's saying?
Okay.
So you've expressed the stress, now how will you include that piece?
Okay. And I'm also hearing that you're feeling pretty confident that this can get done on time.
Yeah, I am confident, and I'm kind of concerned by the idea that your job is on the line about this. I mean, where's that come from?
Yeah, well, they're making a lot of cuts in management, and I have a sense that a small mistake like this, not getting it done on time, could cost me my job here, or at least a major demotion.
So what I'm liking about where this is going is that the more you take it on yourself, the more it depersonalizes it, and the less likely it is to sound like you're not trusting him.
Right.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, really what you're asking him, although you haven't said it, I think that's the truth, you're essentially asking him, do me a favor. Support me.
Right.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you have it under control. I still can't relax. Would you help me relax by coming?
Right.
It's a very different message. It's much more vulnerable.
It is, and I'm not used to communicating in that way at work.
But let's see the effect of what that would be like.
Okay.
You may not want to say the words, do me a favor,
Right.
but you can ask for support.
Right. Right. Okay. So with these cuts coming, I'm very, very sensitive to the progress that's being made in this project and to how important it is for me, that it gets done. And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to work with me somehow to see that we can make a lot more progress on this report in a pretty short period of time.
I am really happy with how you did this because you actually found your own way to express it without being that vulnerable, actually.
Right.
And still, I liked in particular the phrase, work with me. I really got a sense that you're holding him and yourself and trying to find something. Did you feel that way?
Yeah. And there was, because I am here listening to the previous dialogue, the thing about that my boss here did not say is Kimberly, is the thing about that she won't be able to relax.
Yeah.
And that she would love to be able to actually have some relaxation at a time of stress. And I had a sense that would get me on board even more in some way.
This is, I'm glad you're saying this because I agree with you, and this is the irony of how the thing that is most likely to get people to want to do what we want is the thing that we're least likely to say. Mm-hmm. Because it's the most revealing and the most vulnerable. But it is precisely that vulnerability that tends to touch the heart of the other person and create a genuine willingness that cuts through roles and shoulds and have-tos and what's right. And that is what is most likely to get him to be willing to support you. And I get a sense that that would be a hard stretch for you.
It really would be.
Yeah, and still, you went part ways, and you're willing to go part ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this dialogue can continue.
Yeah.
And I want to just try it out for a moment from the other side and see how that will be.
Okay.
So you start at the top again, and this time, let's see if you can say something that will transform the situation.
Okay.
Okay. So
Can you
Kevin,
rewind to that defended boss?
Yes. Yes.
Easy, isn't
No
it?
problem.
It's natural.
Right. Exactly. So Kevin, we have this big deadline coming up, and so I'm going to need you to come in this weekend to finish up that project.
Huh. Wow, that's hard for me to hear right now because I had a lot of plans with my partner, commitments for this weekend and stuff, and at the same time I also have total confidence that I'm on track for hitting the deadline as usual. As you know, that's my track record. So I'm just wondering, what are you getting from what I'm saying? I just want to be sure that I'm making myself clear.
Well, it sounds like you're confident it sounds like you have some important plans this weekend that you don't want to have to change or cancel, and you're confident that the project will get done on time at the pace that you're going.
You're being such a nice boss.
I was going to say, but I'm not confident that it's going to get done on time. So I'm asking you to get a little bit further ahead than maybe you feel like you need to, because this is so important.
Okay. So I get that you're not feeling confident about the work and the deadline. I'm wondering if you'd be open to dialoguing for 5 minutes right now about something which would give you that confidence, which wouldn't involve me coming in for the whole of the weekend, perhaps, if there's any other possibilities.
The thing is, it's not so much a confidence in you, it's really just my own comfort level, because this is so important. I know you've done things on time before, but this is something I cannot take any chances with.
So just your own wanting to feel comfortable about it and having some kind of breathing space or something like that.
Exactly. And to answer your question, yes, I'm willing to talk a little bit about this, but that's not going to change. But I'm happy to talk to you.
Right.
Okay, you got a lot of distance. She's willing to talk with you. It doesn't matter that she says that won't change, because it might still change. Mm-hmm. She's already appearing to me a little softer than she was. Doesn't she?
A tad, yeah.
Are you feeling softer inside?
I am. It's definitely from the first time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, especially hearing that he has plans this weekend, and reminding me that he has been a great employee all along and has never missed a deadline. Mm-hmm. So I am feeling a little bit softer.
Okay, and with further dialogue, we have no idea where it will land. The thing about dialogue is it's unpredictable. If we enter dialogue with a real open heart, one or the other, or both of us, might change. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So thank you about this. Anything else you want to tell us before we take one final break?
No, just yes, one thing, just that it felt like we could now get into the nitty-gritty of the detail and all that kind of thing, and look for other solutions. That's what it
there's
felt
enough
like.
connection.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I appreciated what you said about the high cost of just powering over Kevin in that way.
Okay, thank you. Let's take a break and come back for a wrap-up. We are going to work with a few one-liners. We're introducing a new feature this time, and stay tuned and come back.
Rise into the morning, that's right here for me
Hi, welcome back to the Conflict Hotline. This is our final minutes, and we're going to be introducing a new feature. We call it Hard to Hear Messages. We have a bunch of messages here, all these little pieces of paper that we've collected over the years, real life situations, and you can add to this pile by sending us your one-liner. And it's really about, this feature is about helping you either know how to respond to a hard-to-hear message or find a different way of saying it so that it's not so hard to hear. So will you pick one? Oh. Maybe you picked one already, it just fell.
I have, you're so needy.
Wow. That is very hard to hear.
Yes.
That is very hard to hear.
It's hard to hear because you tell yourself something about it.
Right.
But if you look at it as in, he's expressing something about himself, not about you. What is he telling you about himself?
Well, what I'm hearing is that he is
He wants
feeling-
something.
Yeah.
What does he want?
Some space or freedom.
Then that's all you do. You check in with him.
Okay.
He says it, and then you check in with him if that's what he wants. Let's try that.
Okay.
Say it again.
You are so needy.
So you're wanting some space right now from this?
Yes.
Great. So simple. So much easier than to take it on, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's work the other way. You want to say that, but there's something behind it. How would you express it more directly and in a way that will make your needs known at much less cost to her?
I get that you're really wanting my attention right now on this, and I'm aware that I'm just feeling kind of tired and overwhelmed and just wanting to have some space for myself. How do you feel hearing me say this?
Isn't that easier to hear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's it. So now let's take another one, and that will be the last thing we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Itzel, will you pick one? Not the same one, hopefully.
Okay. All right, I have a couple here. Oh. How can you say that?
Such as, how can you say you're so needy?
Exactly. It's
Because
a perfect
very-
response.
Very often we just exchange these one-liners that, take a relationship down the drain in 5 minutes. So quickly, before we end, how would you respond to that? What's she trying to tell you?
I'm getting that you're just not, you're confused, you're really not understanding what's leading me to say what I'm saying. Is that right?
Yeah.
My guess is that there's something deeper going on, that maybe there is some pain in her, and she's wanting some care and tenderness in the interaction. Is that part of
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how would you, if you were to convey that message, how would you say it in your own words?
Hearing you say what you said, I feel really sad and really hurt
Because of what need?
because I'm really wanting you to understand what's happening for me right now.
Okay. It's that part that makes it easier, because if you just say, I'm feeling hurt, he's going to hear, you're to blame for my pain.
Right.
Okay, thank you. So we are now coming to the end, and I want to just capture some highlights. What stands out to you from all the role plays and things that we did today?
I like being reminded again about using more words than the other person would be willing to hear. When I was the father, and using more words than she would want to hear. So.
Yeah, and the more power you have, the fewer words I would
Right.
recommend you say, because the person is less inclined to hearing you. Anything that stands out to you?
It was actually in that same role play, just empowering me as a teenager to really come to my dad as an equal, just as another human being.
Yeah. And for me, what stands out is just the building blocks of connection that allow the details to then be worked out. Thank you for all of this. And I want to express gratitude to everyone that participated here and invite you, if you are intrigued by this, if you want to learn how you can bring these skills and these consciousness to your own life, go to our website, www.baynvc.org. There is plenty of opportunities for you to learn in all kinds of ways. And you can also call the office at 510-433-0700. And we love to get feedback from you. It's so much fun for us when people send us feedback, and you can also send us scenarios to work with. And of course, you can send us one-liners. And I want to express a tremendous gratitude to Itzel and Newt for coming here again and again and again, and being so many different people all in one day. It's very fun to work with you. I have a lot of fun and look forward to this every month. I also want to express a lot of gratitude to the crew. Again, I want to remind you that everybody working here is a volunteer, and great support. And I want to invite you to come back next month, and just want to say that next month will be at a different time instead of the first Thursday. Next month will be on the second Thursday, so we'll be here again September 10th at 7:30. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye. Good night.
From hell, together we can turn hell